everyone. Welcome back to
Minnesota Medleys.
Oh, we did that together. How
We
fun.
did.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
Good.
It's starting to feel like fair time out there.
It is. We're going to have to just jump right into this.
We are,
really
'cause
pretty
there's a
quickly.
lot to cover.
There's a lot to cover because we are talking about the Minnesota State Fair. A little bit of business first. Thank you to those who have listened to and downloaded our previous episodes, including the last one, Lakes. We had a lot of fun doing that. And the general consensus is that all Minnesotans love all lakes. I think it's a broad statement. It's a bold statement. But anyway, thank you to all of you. Also, if you go to our website, minnesotamedleys.podbean, that's podbean.com, and you can download our episodes there. You can also follow us there. Just a heads up, when you go to follow us, it does something that seems a little squirrely. You need to create a Podbean account. I assure you, it's not a big deal. I created one for myself, not under Minnesota Medleys, but just under my own name. And I'm not really getting stuff in email from them. What that does, however, is it connects you, if you follow us, to MailChimp. And through MailChimp, you then receive our newest episodes as soon as they're released. It's pretty convenient.
Gives you an alert.
Yeah, well, it just comes to your inbox.
Okay,
Yep,
awesome.
It's right there.
Great.
So don't be scared off if you see that you have to fill out a bunch of stuff. They don't harass you by any means that I've been aware of. So
Cool.
All right. Let's launch into the State Fair,
Great
which of course
Minnesota
is coming
get-together.
very, very soon.
Yeah, that great Minnesota get-together every year in August. Hey, so I'm jumping in right from the get-go. I got to make sure that people are aware this has been going on for a long time.
And you went to the Minnesota State Fair website.
I certainly did.
Grabbed some facts
Oh my
and
gosh,
figures.
they had so much interesting information. So the first state fair was held in 1859. After there had been 3 years of territorial fairs, then a year after Minnesota was granted statehood, they had the first state fair. Again, that was in 1859. And they had it near what's now downtown Minneapolis, which I found interesting. As we'll learn, obviously, that is not where the state fair is held. Well, I say obviously, others may not realize that. During the early years, they moved it around a bit, and they had it like in St. Paul, they had it in Minneapolis, they had it in other big cities like Rochester, Red Wing, Winona, Owatonna, not Duluth. Never got up there very far north from the
Not
central
enough population. Center,
right,
maybe?
central and southern Minnesota lucked out. And then Ramsey County ended up donating its 210-acre poor farm to the Agricultural Society, which is the governing body of the state fair, and that is where they've moved it. They moved it permanently, and in all honesty, it has grown from 210 acres to 322 acres, which it's a huge area, huge footprint.
It is, but did you know that 322 acres is only half a square mile?
Interesting.
Yeah. So
It
that's
feels-
a lot of activity.
Feels bigger when you're walking around.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Then
that's
again,
true.
you've got the
Yep.
slow walk.
Yeah.
You don't want to miss anything. So
half your blood is
Yeah.
comprised of corn dog batter.
exactly.
Okay. The website said that the earliest fairs were focused on agriculture competitions and exhibits. They do point out too that agriculture still remains the primary focus, and that is quite evident for those of you who have been there. And it's actually very interesting. Corn art. One of my
Yes, I
favorite
love
things.
that.
They talk about new areas of interest become part of the fair, technological, industrial exhibits, large-scale entertainment, and, of course, educational and government institutions are represented as well.
Absolutely. And then the state fair has really had a long-standing tradition of happening annually, with the exception of 6 years. 1861 and 1862, there happened to be this little war going on called the Civil War, and the U.S. Dakota War, so they didn't have it then. Then they ended up having scheduling conflicts with the World's Columbian Exposition in Chicago in
Interesting.
1893. Another war impeded things. The federal government ended up having restrictions on travel due to World War II. So there was no
That was in
Minnesota State Fair in
45.
45. In 46, it was the polio epidemic. And then there was a long stretch where they had it every year up until, you guessed it, 2020 because of COVID-19. That pandemic shut her down.
The year before, 2019, record-breaking year for the Minnesota State Fair. They actually broke 6 daily average attendance records. The weekly attendance topped out at 2.1 million people, 2.1 and some change. Some other little factoids: nearly 200 baby animals are born during the state fair each year.
So cute.
I thought this one was interesting. Electricity was first used at the state fair in 1899, so they could begin staying open past daylight. And if my math serves me correctly, that means they did it for 40 years without electricity.
Wow.
Yeah. The oldest amusement on site is Ye Old Mill.
Never been in there.
I don't know if I have been. Date of the first attendance over 1 million people was on September 5th in 1955.
That's a lot of fives.
Also, it is the first Princess K of the Milky Way.
Yes.
Yep, was crowned in 1954. The first butter carving by the American Dairy Association of Minnesota was in 1965. And Princess K of the Milky Way is the title given to the state's winner of the Minnesota Dairy Princess Program. Fun stuff.
I know we weren't going to try and yammer on too much, but I do have to say I don't know how many state fairs have a head of someone carved in butter like the Minnesota State Fair does. And
They don't all?
I don't think so.
No,
I don't know how present the Dairy Association is in other state fairs, but it's like a big deal.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to ask people from other states when they visit.
Yeah.
Have you seen the carved head of butter?
Exactly.
It's kind of a big deal. And it is. It's very cool.
It's a pretty awesome, long-standing tradition, and I know every young girl in certain cities, certain towns, she wants to be Princess K.
Oh, I thought you were going to say she wants to be carved out of butter.
For that reason, I think she wants to be
butter and food. Do
We're
you have
gonna
any food trivia?
move on to
boy.
moving on to the food trivia. Oh my gosh, one of my favorites, Sweet Martha's Cookie Jar. They produce 3 million cookies in one day.
Well, because I've called ahead and placed orders for
Yeah.
half of those.
And I've noticed they give you the cookies in a cone, like a paper
Yeah.
cone, but then the next it would be a gallon.
Yeah, the
Of
bucket.
cookies. Yeah, the
When you
bucket.
see somebody going by with a bucket, you're just like, I'm going to follow you.
And I remember thinking, how can anyone eat that many cookies?
Have you ever been waiting in line and seen one stepped on and squished and you're like, all right,
What a
where are the
waste.
police?
Yeah,
I mean,
how can that happen?
It's
It
so
is
awful. So
such a
disappointing.
crime.
Yep.
Such a crime. There are 300 food concessions throughout the fair,
Believe it.
and they serve up about 500 different foods.
Nice.
And the most common flavor of pies in creative activities baked foods category is quite American, apple.
Perfect. Yeah,
You know
that
it.
would kind of make sense. Minnesota
Now,
and apples and all that.
my mom was complaining that they introduce new, different, strange foods every year, and I actually think it's kind of cool. All of the different foods.
I think maybe she felt like the old ways were disappearing, and
no,
and she's
many
not
remain.
wrong when
Well-
she alluded to like the church diners.
True, those are dropping off.
Those have dropped off and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But a lot of the original foods that were available 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago are still there.
Your mini donuts, your corn dogs.
Yep. You also found new foods.
Yeah, but
that
quick question.
Yeah, please.
Corn dog or Pronto Pup, which is better?
I prefer a corn dog.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
I don't know this for fact, but I feel like the only difference is corn dog has cornmeal in the batter.
Oh, yeah.
I think.
Do you do the ketchup and mustard? I do.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta have both.
absolutely. Well, on the first one.
Oh,
I do that
yes.
on the second one too.
Oh, you have
And-
more than one.
Well, I do it on the third one as well. Numbers 4 through 7, kind of mix it
You
up.
know, yeah.
All right, new foods at the fair this year. Everybody, yes, knows their cheese curds, funnel cakes, that kind of thing. Tell us what's and this is a very shortened version.
Yes,
If,
very
If
short.
any vendors out there happen to hear this podcast and we miss you, we're sorry.
Sorry, it wasn't intentional.
Send us an email and we will make a point of coming to your particular booth.
Absolutely. Well, that way we'll be sure we get to the fair.
And
you know.
yes, oh,
Al
well,
Taco Baba.
Al Taco Baba.
They've got a traditional hummus, harissa barbacoa, corn, queso fresco, chili dust, shata, which is a hot sauce, crema, cilantro, and pita puffs.
I bet you that thing would get you sweating a little
Oh
bit.
my
with
gosh,
the-
me? Yeah.
with the harissa.
Holy cow. I don't know if I'd be able to
Sounds
handle
so
it.
good. This one sounds a really nice combination of sweet and savory. Bacon wrapped waffle dog. Oh, and of course the salt of the bacon. That sounds great.
Yeah, the waffle, the sweetness.
The next one, I do want us to seek out. This next one,
Yeah,
is,
I would probably eat it after the Al Taco Baba to
Yeah.
kind of take away some of the heat, but there's a little heat
there
in
is.
this.
It's the bee sting sundae.
These things, it's Bridgman's vanilla ice cream topped with hot honey. Now, is that spicy honey or is it warmed up honey? I don't know. Spicy peanuts, whipped cream, and a cherry.
That's a good question about the hot honey. I have a feeling it's a spicier honey. Just have a feeling.
Gal, see,
But that's okay. You're eating ice
I'm
cream.
so
too.
Minnesotan.
You're eating ice cream.
Don't
as
you
well.
know?
I saw a picture of these, the birthday cake mini donuts. They look like mini donuts with the birthday cake flair. They
Yeah,
just
like
look great.
the sprinkles. I think it's a birthday cake batter that they use
Oh, sure.
for the mini donut.
What is
This one
next?
looks amazing to me. The cheesecake curds. So they like take cheesecake and they deep fry it,
Yes.
and then they give you some strawberry dipping sauce. And
Yeah.
oh my,
Yep. They're
thank you.
Eli's cheesecake pieces covered in funnel cake batter.
Yes, funnel cake
Fried
batter.
and dusted powdered sugar.
So delicious. I can
Okay.
just imagine how it melts.
Yeah.
Now the next one I'm staying away from.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, this
I am
one-
not this Minnesotan.
Okay, this one is really, really interesting. It's a steamed lotus bun. Lotus buns, I believe, are named because of their shape. They're
Okay.
they're like a bao bun, kind of.
That sounds good.
Sweeter. And I love this combination. With they're filled with a blend of cabbage, carrots, cilantro, yum sauce,
That sounds good.
plus Olsen Fish Company's lutefisk, brined in salt water for 12 hours.
No.
But then they cover it in a sweet hoisin, and it's baked and topped
Mm.
with sesame seeds. See, that could be. I'm used to watching my parents take, the lutefisk fillets out of a jar, and they slurp down.
No.
Not for me, but
No, I can't do
crisped
it.
up could be a totally different animal. I think it'd be great.
I'd rather try the fried butternut squash ravioli.
Ravioli,
And you know what's so great? I
dusted
can just,
with
it's like,
cinnamon.
yeah, cinnamon and served with a side of whipped ricotta.
Oh my gosh.
Sounds so good.
I was reading about this one, kind of a big dill
Uh-huh,
pickle lemonade. Apparently, it's lemonade with dill pickle
Seasoning.
seasonings.
Yeah.
yeah, and they serve it with a pickle.
I wonder if they put a little dill pickle, like juice or water,
Well,
that it's in.
maybe,
I wonder if they put some of that in
Yeah.
there too.
possibly
Holy ham loaf breakfast
holy
sandwich.
ham loaf.
Holy ham loaf. I think it's funny. It's at one of the church diners. I think
Oh.
the only one. It's at Hamlin Church Dining Hall.
Okay.
But they have it's not the holy.
No, it's not that.
It's a hole in it, because what they do
Yeah.
is they take their ham loaf. They've got a tangy glaze, caramelized onions,
Hmm.
and cheese in a sandwich made with fried egg and a whole toast.
I think that'd be quite nice. I really do.
It's interesting.
Another one. We just got a couple left here out of the many new foods being represented. This one I really would like to try. The SOTA, as in SOTA, as in Minnesota, Soda Charcuterie Board. It's a collection of Minnesota-made meats, cheeses, pickles, and other charcuterie board favorites. It's served on an edible herb-crusted cracker board, so you could just walk
Yeah.
along, enjoying your soda charcuterie.
Yeah, I thought it was a cool picture that I saw.
Yeah, yeah, it's very nice looking.
Very cool. Again, it's fish. I this next one, I don't do fish, and I need to learn to do fish. But
You
this is
do.
walleye fritter pops. So they smoked walleye, and then they mix it with a blend of cheeses, dill pickle relish, fresh garlic and spices.
So
They
good.
roll it in panko breadcrumbs and then they deep fry it and they serve it on a stick with a side of comeback sauce and a lemon slice. Comeback sauce, what's that?
I would assume it's a sauce that keeps you coming back.
Okay,
I've heard
it's
it.
not going to keep coming back. I hope it doesn't.
Think
That
about
that
that.
is not appetizing.
I didn't. Yeah, no, I don't think
You
so.
you think it's just come on back now?
I would imagine it is.
Okay, I hope.
You know, I'm looking through their list of new foods,
Yeah.
and there's 12, 15, 18. I'm seeing there's.
But
at
then it goes to
least-
vendors. Yeah,
Okay. Okay, that was new vendors.
their wallet.
But I mean, there are so many new
Yeah.
foods.
I know.
And there's a ton of new vendors too.
Yep.
So,
Yep, a
all
lot
the
of new
reason to get
vendors.
there.
I see donuts on there. I see
Peachy's Baking Company, Midtown
churros.
Markets. Oh yeah, Momodosa.
Uh-huh.
Tasty Whip. Wow.
Looks like a
Fudge.
Dole Whip. It's Dole soft serve, yeah.
Oh, there you go. And Wow Fudge,
Well-
handcrafted old-fashioned copper kettle fudge.
Yowza.
This at the time that we're recording this, everyone, it's very close to dinner time.
I'm so hungry now.
And yeah, I bet this is like going grocery shopping when
Yes.
you're hungry.
Yes.
Come home with 3 boxes of Cocoa Puffs.
Hey, can we just take a stroll down memory lane for
Yes,
the two of
let's
us and
do
kind
that.
of share our memories of the state fair? Because can I go
Absolutely.
first? Ladies
You-
first.
Of course. Always.
I got to share my grandpa's memory. He always, whenever he would visit the state fair, he would need Tiny Tim mini donuts. That particular vendor, he needed mini donuts from there. And then he would take those and he would probably just like swallow them whole. I don't know if he even tasted them. But then he would go to the all you can drink milk, the booth or whatever. And he used to always talk about how he could get that for a nickel. But I think when he was telling me the story, it was a quarter.
Okay.
Who knows what
I
it is
thought
now?
there was a day and a time. Sorry to interrupt. I
Yeah.
thought there was a day when it was free. I could have
Oh.
sworn it was like it was sponsored or something like that.
By maybe the Dairy
Dairy
Association.
Association. I don't know. I could be misremembering that. I know it's
Yeah.
always been affordable
But-
though, and ice cold
Yes, see, that's the only way I like my milk is ice cold. And I
with
would
the side of fish.
no mini donuts.
Okay.
I'll take those.
Okay.
I'll take those. Or the Sweet Martha's cookies. You know, seriously love those.
Yeah.
Or like a fresh lemonade. There's something about a fresh squeezed
The
lemonade
last
at the
time
fair.
you and I were at the fair, I think we were never without a lemonade. It was always
think
like
so.
there's a lemonade stand.
Yep.
Grab one.
Water or lemonade. Water or lemonade. Oh,
Yep.
so good. And then frozen grapes. I got those where you get the alligator on a stick, but I
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
get the alligator on a stick. I got the frozen grapes, and they take like the
Kind of
purple.
over by the grandstand.
Yeah, it
almost.
was over by the grandstand, and it was like the purple or black grapes, you know,
Yes.
or red grapes, and then they have them frozen, and it's just such a sweet treat to just devour. Those were great.
They are.
And then rides, I always loved the giant slide where you sit down in that burlap thing.
I've never been on it.
You've never been on the giant
Nope.
slide? Oh my gosh,
Not
it was
that I remember.
so much
Maybe
fun.
I wasn't. It hit my head.
So much fun. It was just it was a blast, you know.
okay.
And you sit on the thing, the burlap, and you zip down, and there's all these bumps, and oh my gosh, you feel like you're gonna go airborne. So great.
Yeah.
And then the gondola thingy, whatever that's called. A sky ride. There we go.
The gondola style.
Yeah,
skyride,
it's so cool because you just feel like you just like are looking at people and hopefully not dropping anything on them, like a shoe or something.
It's a very cool perspective.
It is.
And also, you're no longer walking.
so true.
It's
I
like,
know.
yeah.
When you need a break, you take the sky ride.
And a good way to get,
Oh
somewhere
yeah,
else quickly.
totally.
Yeah.
One of my problems going to the state fair, however, is the animals because as much as I love them, I'm allergic to like everything that has 4 legs. So
Well, every farm animal.
yeah.
More so, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine watching the diving dogs. You know how they have those dogs
Yes, I
that
do.
run and jump in the water and stuff. But I just remember insisting that I go to my cousin's horse shows because she always showed horses when we were growing up, and I would sit in that coliseum and I would just be like sneezing and wheezing, and my eyes would be watering, and I was miserable.
Like, this is so fun.
But I loved every minute of it. And my sister, I gotta share, she reminded me of a time that she and her friend Christine were at the fair and they went to the Haunted Mansion, And something in there freaked them out so bad they ran out shrieking and screaming, and then they couldn't stop laughing at themselves. Have you ever gone in the Haunted Mansion there?
I have
Okay.
a long time ago.
I never have, but it's always been a little tempting when I've gone by. And then concerts. That was the second time I had a chance to hear NKOTB in the 80s.
Which, of course, stands for
New Kids on the Block.
Very good.
First time I heard them was at the Met Center. Remember the Met Center?
Yes. Okay.
Heard them there. And then the second time I had an opportunity to hear them at the State Fair at the Grandstand. And Tiffany
Tiffany.
Tiffany
Okay.
opened for them, as well as, do you remember the name Tommy Shaw? He was big in the pop world.
I do remember
He was
that
also
name.
there too.
Okay.
And, other times of the year too, I was at the State Fair to hear artists like Cyndi Lauper. But I really don't think that she was there during the fair. I couldn't find that when I was looking online at all of the former acts
But she was
over
at the
years.
grandstand.
But she was at the grandstand.
Hmm.
And I know there were bands that would play there during the summer sometimes,
Yeah.
just because it was a cool outdoor venue.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
how about you? Do you have some fun memories?
I do. I do have fun memories. I also have just things that I like about the fair. For one thing, I like that the fair opens at 7 in the morning.
Oh yeah,
I don't think I've ever been there that early, but they open at 7 a.m. daily, and they're open until 11 o'clock at night.
wow.
Except for on Labor Day, they're open.
You
until
can go in at
9.
11, or they close it early. They close admission earlier.
Nobody's coming in after 11 because they
Yeah.
close. At
Oh
11.
sure. Okay, I suppose. Yeah.
But I have been there on more than one occasion at around 7:30 or 8 in the morning, and
That's early.
it's so interestingly quiet
Yeah.
around there. There's no music being piped through anything. There's no bands playing. There's no rides running.
Interesting. That would be quite the
And
perspective.
it's just very interesting. I have a good time at the church diner. And it's like my only quote unquote, I don't know. I don't want to say normal food, but normaler food.
like
I
it's
feel
fair
like
food, but not.
pancakes.
Yeah. Oh,
Get a bunch of
yeah.
pancakes in because they're kind of like this buffer
Yeah.
for the nightmare
That
I'm
is
gonna
about
put my
to
stomach
ensue.
through the rest of the day.
Get ready,
I,
stomach.
if I go to the state fair, I don't want to hear two words, food budget, because
Oh,
it doesn't exist.
No.
But anyway, what's
Or calories.
Calawatts. I love in
Calawatty.
the morning when it's quiet like that. It still, however, kind of smells like the fair because
Yeah.
I'm convinced that like the smell of onions on flat tops
thought you were gonna say
fryer. You know,
Don't know
no.
why.
And deep fryers and that kind of
Yeah.
thing. That oil just that scent just hovers in the air, so it still smells like
It's
the
absorbed
fair.
by
It's
all
kind
of the trees
it's
and
in
their
the
leaves.
trees and yeah, it's just everywhere. The farm, the barn animals.
Know what I smell? State
I,
Fair.
I'm a big fan of the DNR building.
Oh yeah.
I like watching the fish outside.
Yeah.
Swimming around in that pond. It's just unique. It's this once in a year thing.
Do you think they live there all year, or
I
do
sure
they
do not.
fill their pond?
I don't think they live there all year. Did you know at the end of the fair though, they give them
fish
away.
fry? Oh.
They give them away in plastic baggies. They don't fit, but you can you get back to your car. Anyway, they don't do that.
I
The
hope
4-H
they take them
building
back
is
to their
cool.
lake they came from.
The set them free.
Yes.
The agriculture building, the grandstand. I really enjoy
Yeah.
the shopping, the
Oh
browsing,
yes.
just how it just goes and goes and goes.
Yep.
And there's just so much cool stuff to look at. The
Mm-hmm.
International Bazaar is one of my favorite places.
So great. It is the opposite of bizarre. It is
Well, it's bazaar,
bazaar, not biz.
right? The food there, of course,
Yes,
is also
so
excellent.
good. Oh, the smells there are oh yum.
And just fond memories ever since way back when. Machinery Hill, all the tractors with my dad. My dad being a John Deere guy from day one, even though he's had other tractors too, he still has his John Deere. and there's a ton of them there, and Massey Ferguson's, and there's Farmalls, and well, you name it, old farm tractors, and newer big
Chalmers.
ones too. What's that?
Was there one something with
Alice
Chal-
Chalmers? Yep.
Yeah, that sounds so
Yeah, they're
like
usually
a
they're
butler.
usually
Chalmers. For
orange.
some reason, I think of
Um,
Chalmers.
and then
bring
my
him out.
rides, I like the Sky Ride too. I really like that. And
Yes.
then the Sky Glider is the other one.
Oh,
That's the one that's more of a
gondola.
nope, the
Oh.
gondola is the Sky Ride. The Sky Glider is the one that's more like a ski lift.
Oh.
I like that one too.
Hey, isn't there like a Space Needle thinger?
There is.
Majigger?
There's a needle too, and
Majigger.
and then
But
what
not
else?
as big as the one in Seattle.
the Ferris wheel is very cool too.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, so we're very much looking forward to talking about the state fair. But in talking about it and sharing these facts and figures and new foods and vendors coming, that kind of thing, we just have to make sure we get there.
I know.
Just don't find yourself too busy. It's once a year, August 24th through Labor Day, which is September 4th.
It's happening
In
in
about 5 days and 13 hours or so, according
Yeah.
to their website here. And
53
Again,
minutes.
it opens at 7 a.m. It's well worth it, everyone. We
really is.
will be posting on Facebook what our next episode is going to be. We're still juggling ideas for that one. We've got many ideas, but how do you follow up the state fair?
I have no idea, and it
We'll find something where we can maybe get
Yeah.
a couple of people interviewed.
maybe
for
if people that listen, if they want to drop us a line and tell us what to talk about.
Yeah, Minnesota Medleys at gmail.com. Otherwise, look us up on Facebook. That's at Minnesota Medleys. You can contact us through Messenger, or mention something in the comments of any of our posts. We get notifications when we get new posts. We'd love to keep this as interactive as we possibly can. Please do go to minnesotamedleys.podbean.com and give a listen, or download one of our episodes. We appreciate that. And also on our website, on the landing page, is listed 12 different podcast apps that we're on. So your favorite way to
choose
listen is probably on there.
Give us a download or 10. Well,
Yeah.
we don't have that many
Well,
episodes yet, but
yeah.
when we get to 10, please download them all.
Thank you very much,
Maybe we'll see you at
everyone.
the fair,
Maybe
everybody.
we'll see you at the fair, and we'll be releasing another episode of Minnesota Medleys in about a week. Thanks so much, everyone.
Ta-ta. Bye-bye.